This is Nvidia GTX 970, a GPU released all the way back in 2014, and I sat down and tried to play modern games like Resident Evil 4 Remake, Lords of the Fallen, even the new Helldivers 2 game, and many more to see if this GPU can still handle 1080p gaming and maybe even be an option for those looking for a cheap 1080p GPU. And it will be paired up with Ryzen 7600 CPU, 16GB of DDR5 memory. So, without further ado, let's dive into the footage. Alright guys, we are back and today we are checking out the Nvidia GTX 970 graphics card. In the last video I took a look at the 270X by Radeon, but today we're doing 970 card that came out in September 19, 2014. I actually bought one of these in early 2015, and the launch price at the time was $329, which I think this was a really good card at the time for that price. But nowadays you can have one of these for like $25 to $35 or somewhere in between. So nowadays this can be a good option for people who just want to have like a 1080p gaming GPU for a really good price, and also especially if you play esports titles, this should be a really good for those. So this was a Maxwell 2 architecture built on 28nm process, as you can see right here. And of course there was the controversy of the VRAM situation in this card. So this is advertised to be a 4GB card, but actually only 3.5 GB of that 4 GB are the faster GDDR5 memory, while the remaining half a gigabyte is much slower RAM. So if you exceed the 3.5 GB limit, you may get stutters and stuff like that, which can be really bad. And yeah, it was a pretty shady advertisement back then from Nvidia. But now let's see how this performs in modern games in 2024 at 1080p. Alright guys, so first up we are trying out the Doom Eternal here, and once again I gotta mention guys that I'm using this cheap ass mouse from Amazon, under 10 bucks, so it's definitely not meant for gaming, so it's kind of hard to play with this, but yeah, 1080p resolution here. We are at medium settings, and yeah, no resolution scaling or anything like that. So medium preset, 1080p. Let's see how it plays. Here we are. This is the same mission I tried in the last video with the 270X, and take a look at this. This is actually right away very impressive. A card from 2014, and we are running at 85 frames per second here at medium settings, 1080p in Doom Eternal, a game that came out in 2020. I actually did not realize that 970 is still today can be this fast on the if you're using like medium settings at 1080p, and many people came at 1080p, and in my opinion it makes way more sense to buy something like 970 than something like 270 we took a look at in the last episode, because it's not that much more money, and first of all, it performs way better, as you can see here, and also it supports pretty much all the games out there still, and it has driver support still. Obviously you could go like even lower settings, maybe use a resolution scale or something if you wanted to get even higher frames, but I think the medium settings look graphically pretty good, and you get a nice frame rates here. Now we have actually the benchmark mode here. You can see the current frame rate, average frame rate, minimum frame rate, and stuff like that. So I'm gonna keep that on for a while here. At the moment, average has been 94 FPS here, a minimum 81. It's awesome. This is actually, and this is actually like, I'm not kidding. This is actually like a really good gaming experience on the 970. Alright, so this is the last section I'm gonna play here, and then I'm gonna actually move on to the next game, but yeah, we actually went down to 62 at some point. Alright guys, there you go. Doom Eternal, medium settings, 1080p, a lot of action going on there, and the I'm gonna stop the benchmark mode, but as you can see on the screen, 85 frames per second was the average. Minimum was 60, and max was 119, 61, 1% low. I mean, those are nice numbers. Never went under 60 frames per second during that that span of 3 minutes where there was a lot of action there. So yeah, I'm very impressed at how this Doom Eternal plays on the 970 at 1080p. Looks good, plays really well. Let's move on to the next game. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the next game we're going to take a look at. So here are the settings I'm using. 1080p. We are using FSR 2 quality here, and VRAM 3 gigabytes. Texture filtering we have at high, X4. Well, you can just take a look at these settings. So only setting I have at high is corpse physics. So right away it actually looks like we have to lower some settings if we want to get even close to the 60 when the action heats up, because we're not getting that even here. But the game looks good. I actually lowered textures to a high 1 gigabyte, so now we are actually at the moment under the 3.5 gigabyte of VRAM used here, and we are also gained a little bit of FPS, so we're at 50 frames per second now. But I'm interested to see how it runs when we get to the village fight, because that's one of the heaviest scenes, at least here on the early game. Yeah, now that we are in, like inside a building, it's running really well. We're staying over 60 frames per second here pretty much all the time. And yeah. A rat right there. Sorry about that. And I know I have played through this game. I love this game. It's an awesome game. And I know there's a zombie coming down the stairs, but I'm gonna be smart and I'm gonna dodge him. Come on.
No fucking
You ain't gonna get me. Let me just do this. Alright, I fucked up. I'm really surprised at how good the 970 still is at 1080p. Yeah, and if you take a look at the frame time graph, it also looks pretty good here, so really nice experience playing on this on the 970. Can we actually make him go to the bear trap? Let's try that. Come on, man. Come here. There's no traps here. Yeah, he actually does get stuck there. That's cool. I didn't know that. And he's dead. Alright guys, I'm gonna put the benchmark mode on here for the village fight. So we're gonna see what kind of FPS we can expect in a heavy scene with these settings on 970. So there we go. You can see the current frame rate, minimum frame rate, average frame rate, and so on. So let's go. So far 46 average here. Really nice. Look at this. There's so many guys coming behind me. Now I'm gonna do melee attack. Ooh, I like the melee attacks in this game. This remake is this is such a good remake. Come here, I can actually shoot that lantern down. There we go. Still have some humor from the Leon. Unfortunately, we don't any have that no thanks, bro line. I really like that.
No thanks, bro.
And there's the chainsaw guy. Come on, don't follow me.
Present for you.
I want to be alone. Oh, there you go. Son of a... Where are the church bells? Come on, somebody ring them. Alright, I actually died. I can't believe it. But that was really impressive. With the settings we chose there, the whole village section was like almost like 50 frames per second average, and I'm super impressed what 970 can do at 1080p, even in this game. So let's move on to the next game. Okay, so these are the settings for the F123. So we are pretty much at medium settings here. Some settings are turned to low. Some settings that doesn't really matter that much, like crowd and mirrors. And also I turned down the texture streaming is at low, because that's most likely the biggest issue with this card nowadays is the VRAM, the amount of VRAM. 1080p, TAA and Fidelity FX sharpening on use. Alright, so first we are trying the time trial mode. The track is Saudi Arabia, and so here we are driving alone. and then we can also see how it performs in race. And man, I gotta say that this is super impressive. I cannot believe this actually. The only issue is the frame time graph doesn't look actually even for some reason. Is that issue with the VRAM or... Alright guys, so I actually manually set the refresh rate to 120, so let's see if that fixes the frame times. And take a look at that. It completely fixed it. It's even now. So, man, this is actually... I'm so impressed by this actually. Medium settings, well, we have actually low textures, but other than that, pretty much a medium settings at 1080p, f1.23, and we're getting over 100 frames per second. This is honestly amazing. Alright guys, so just like in the last video with 270X, I'm actually gonna do a benchmark run here on this lap. Let's see the averages, minimums. There's so much headroom here, at least in the time trial mode, that you could even you could play with higher settings if you want to do. You could maybe even go for 1440p, but then then VRAM may be an issue. But honestly, of course, this card you should be at 1080p. So alright, so there are the results here. So we had a minimum of 98 frames per second during that lap, 108 frames average, 119 max, 95%, 1% low, and really impressive. And let's go and check out the race. Okay, here we go. We are in the race and almost 100 frames per second. I cannot believe this. This is so impressive. Yeah, you can definitely have a lot of fun with this game using a 970. And same can be said for Doom Eternal and Resident Evil 4 Remake. But this is so far easily the best experience, because I cannot believe it, but you can actually have a high refresh experience with medium settings in F1, which is amazing. Okay, so this is high preset. Yeah, I can definitely see the difference in graphics. It looks a lot better. We have actually dropped down to a little bit under 60 here. Now this is actually one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest, Unreal Engine 5 game at the time of this video, I believe. Here are the settings for Lords of the Fallen. So game has automatically gone for the low settings. So AMD FSR quality, 1080p, low preset. Why does this game look so freaking bad? Is FSR this bad in this game at 1080p? Oh, I think it's the low preset that is actually making it look so bad. No, look at this. Without FSR, it looks miles better. But it also runs at half the speed. But the frame rate, yeah, we gotta use FSR. We just have to, because otherwise, let's not care about that. So we're gonna go here to the outside. I mean, yeah, the game actually looks kind of bad with the FSR. Look at the like ghosting or whatever that is next to my character, and it just looks so much softer than the native. But still, I mean, if you're playing an Unreal Engine 5 game with the 970, I mean, I guess this is still pretty good, considering the fact that we are using a 10-year-old GPU here. Yeah, I can't complain. I mean, this is an Unreal Engine 5. It's said to be one of the heaviest, if not the heaviest, Unreal Engine 5 game. And here we are running it on a 970 low preset. Yeah, but and AMD FSR2 quality, which makes the game look so bad compared to the native. But still, we're getting for the most part over 60 frames per second here. I believe this is, yeah, I believe this is much better now than it was at launch. So I don't know how bad it would have been then, but now I think it's pretty good actually. Let's actually try to and honestly, the 970 is actually, if I remember correctly, this was actually a pretty good in general, this was a pretty good overclocking card. So you could definitely get, I think, like 5 frames here, maybe even more out of this. This is stock settings of the Strix model. What can I say? I'm impressed, but What I'm not impressed about is that how bad the FSR quality looks at 1080p. Yeah, I'm a little bit bothered with the how the image quality looks here at 1080p FSR quality. But other than that, completely playable, no issues whatsoever. I have here now, this is actually the recently released Tomb Raider remasters 1 to 3. Honestly, I don't think there's gonna be any issues running this with the 970, but I just wanted to showcase this because I think this is really cool release. So it has Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2, and Tomb Raider 3. So yeah, I really wanted to showcase this release just because I think it's a cool release, and I'm actually a big fan of the Tomb Raider games. Running at 120 frames per second here on the 970, and yeah, I really like how this looks. And if you are a fan of the classic Tomb Raider games, definitely go and buy this. I really like the classic games a lot better than I do the modern ones. There's actually I don't know, it's just climbing and grabbing to ledges and stuff like that. It just feels, I don't know, to me it just feels so much better than in many modern games. You actually like have to do something. Yeah, take a look at, by the way, take a look at this feature. I want to showcase this too. You can actually swap between the original graphics and the new remastered graphics. Let's see if some of the old glitches work here in the remaster. Now let's see if we can clip through that wall. You can do that in the original version. There we go. It works here on the remaster. So I think the glitches they had in the originals still work here. I like that. Yeah, Tomb Raider remaster, go buy it if you're a fan of Tomb Raider. But now let's move on to the more demanding games. Alright guys, I actually did a little bit of an overclock here. 150 megahertz to the core clocks, 200 to the memory clocks. And as you can see, we actually, I was able to raise the FPS by like maybe 5 FPS, and now this is getting much closer to that 60 lock. Let's see how it fares here in the combat. Yeah, I'm sorry guys, I actually suck at this game. There we go. Yeah, with the overclock, this is honestly much better now. Yeah, we do still drop from the 60, but not by much. And you could maybe do even a higher overclock here. I just went in there and set it to 150 megahertz plus on the core, 200 on the memory. You could go higher. God of War, we saw a little bit action. Yes, there will be heavier scenes in this game than that, but honestly, that was with the overclock that I did. We went from like 50 to 60 frames per second, or maybe 55 to 60 frames per second experience for the most part, to pretty much say 60 and over 60. Sometimes we went a little bit under the 60, but yeah, I think it's worth overclocking the 970 if you're playing God of War. Alright, so far I've been really impressed with the 970 performance here, but it's getting so late that I think I'm gonna continue this next day. Okay, so now we're running FSR balanced, 1080p FSR2 balanced, and everything else is at low setting. Some of the like bigger areas actually will give you stutters even with the low textures, but here, as we get to this a little bit smaller looking area, it seems like the frame time graph is getting a lot more even here, and like for example here, it's completely playable, even good experience, I would say. Once we get to the a little bit bigger areas, this card just doesn't have enough VRAM to play to give you a really good experience in Returnal, unfortunately. Frame rate wise, yeah, we're doing pretty good, but there can be big stutters here, as you can see right now. Look at the frame time graph now. Alright guys, we're running dynamic resolution here now. Let's see if that actually gets rid of the stutters. See, it seems like when right away when you start a combat, that's when the things go south. Yeah, it just doesn't feel good. I gotta say that this is not a good experience on the 970. Play this game on the 970. It's not worth it. But I guess it's playable. Here are the settings for Company of Heroes. So we're running 1080p resolution, no upscaling whatsoever, and here are the other settings, as you can see. see the frame time graph. We have a couple hitches there, but other than that, it seems pretty good. But I mean, game like this doesn't even really require 60 frames per second, but it just makes it a little bit nicer to play. And here we are mostly running right on that 60 frames per second mark, but not quite. But it's 100% playable. Yeah, there you have it. Actually, seems to be absolutely fine on the GPU. Average FPS 62.19, average 1% low FPS 50.66, and average 0.1 low FPS 48.72. So I would say Company of Heroes is easily playable on the 970 at 1080p. So really nice. And you can see max used VRAM 3.4 gigabytes. So we're right under that 3.5 mark that this card actually basically has, only 3.5 gigabytes of VRAM. So yeah, Company of Heroes 3 seems to be just fine. Alright, so here we are in CS2, and I'm actually going to go for a medium preset here. And again, guys, please forgive me, I'm not going to play good here because I'm using this. This mouse absolutely sucks for gaming, and well, it sucks for whatever you're doing. But so CS2 running on the 970 here, and yeah, take a look at the frames per second. Come on, got him. Over 200 frames per second here, 250, 251. So this is a high refresh experience here, which is great. Oh, the hell, man. 226. Yeah, this is really good here. But honestly, I was actually expecting this to be pretty good because, well, but 970 is not going to make you a better player, unfortunately. So it's super smooth, very good experience. Actually, I'm gonna go as far as to say that this is a fantastic experience here. I'm not gonna stop until I get like a streak of 3 kills. Now we have 1. I know that some people may not agree with this, but for me, I'm not playing like super competitively or anything like that. So for me, 120 frames per second is already like a super good experience. And but do not play with one of these things. This freaking sucks, this mouse. Yeah, that's actually the worst part of this experience. The mouse I'm using. Where's this shotgun? Die! Alright, I got him. He was the only player that is worse than me in this lobby. Alright, so we got 1 kill. Move! Move! 1 kill and I can stop. I said I want a streak of 3 kills. And there we go. I got it. There you go. CSGO. Amazing experience on the 970. You could go even for higher resolutions like 1440p. Still have a great experience here if you're using lower settings. So Ea Sports WRC, actually a fantastic rally game from Codemasters. I guess kind of like sequel to Dirt Rally 2. Now with the full license, WRC license. So alright guys, so here we have the settings. So we are running at 1080p here and using the temporal upscaling with the quality preset, because well, to me that actually looked pretty good and it looked better than the FSR. So we're gonna go with that. And when it comes to advanced graphics, you can see we're pretty much everything, not everything is at the absolute lowest, but almost everything is at the lowest settings. They'll go. And the menu, take a look at this. I don't know what's going on here, but yeah. Let's go for a Subaru. Yeah, there's your Subaru, the black model. So yeah, EA WRC, this is actually from the creators of the Dirt Rally 1 and 2, so this is a Codemasters game, and this is a really good one. Yeah, the PC version actually had big issues at launch, stuttering issues. Look at the trees! This is fantastic! No, honestly, that looks so bad, but what I was saying is that this game actually had, at launch had a big stuttering issues, shader compilation issues, whatever those are. and just general performance issues. But now the game seems to be fixed pretty much, for the most part at least. So I actually picked this game up now, and it runs fantastic. At least on the I've been playing this on the Nvidia 4070 supercard, and on there it plays absolutely fantastic, and it doesn't look like this. All right, take a look at here. In game, no texture issues here, so there's a beautiful tree. I actually have the frame cap to 60 frames per second. But honestly, you should just use a frame cap here. So I actually have like a Riva Tuner frame cap to 60, because that way the frame time is fine. But if you uncap it, it actually feels a little bit like... We're running WRC on GTX 970, and it plays beautiful here. Honestly, this game can easily be enjoyed on the 970. Well, okay, the trees are actually pretty bad, but I'm actually gonna try to change the... we need to... I think we actually have to increase the quality of trees and textures a little bit and see how it does. It still run okay, because this, like this, it looks so bad. Now we're actually, I actually cranked up the trees from ultra low to medium, and textures from ultra low to medium as well. And as you can see, it already looks way better. So if you take a look at the frame time graph, it's almost completely... looks okay with the medium textures and trees. Like, looks way better than... yeah, I think it actually looks fine with this setting. Like, you can definitely have a lot of fun here. And that, yeah, if you can see the coast time ahead of me, that is actually me playing on my 4070 Super rig. So, as you can see, we're playing on the 10-year-old GPU, and we can just still enjoy the game and be just as fast as I can be on the modern GPU. So. Alright guys, this is Future Me, and I just did a very quick comparison here with the low textures and trees compared to medium textures and trees, and you don't really lose any frames by doing this, so definitely go for medium trees and medium textures.
Right of a jump, 60, 5 left, keep in, 60, left of a jump, and 4 right, half long, around Vale. 60, left of a crest, 170.
Alright, so we are back, and now we do not have the frame cap on, so we are at the moment at 71 frames per second here in this stage. Let's actually try to go for a different camera angle. Let's go for this one and try to raise a little bit here. I mean, trees still doesn't look like super good. Maybe we can actually improve those even further. Let's see.
60.
Okay, so guys, I actually cranked up the settings. First of all, we do not have the FPS cap on right now, so we're at 76 frames per second here. And also, I went from the medium trees to high tech. I mean, medium textures to high textures, and we're still, the experience is still good. So we're gonna keep that on, because that makes the game look a lot better with the, especially with the trees at the distance. So. Because I mean, even though the 4070 Super obviously gives you a lot better experience and way better graphics here, I mean, I think here on the 970 this still looks alright. And you can be just as fast as you can be on a modern GPU. And as you can see, this track, for example, is a lot heavier than the previous track, so we're only getting 55 frames per second here. So yeah, it depends on the... And yeah, also, by the way, the interior textures for some reason... well, they look like shit. But with the other camera angles, it seems to be working fine. But yeah, Kenya track seems to be a little bit heavier, so let's actually try to raise here a little bit. We just, we're just at the 60 mark here.
1, go 50.
Okay, let's see how we can do here.
3 right, and 3 left, 30.
I actually feel a little bit, it's not as smooth here,
5 left.
but we're still doing pretty good. Maybe I need to lower the textures again, I don't know, but
4 left short.
I can feel the judder here. Okay, I'm gonna take a risk now. I'm gonna try to be faster than my skills. So that may actually end up like this. But anyways, yeah, if you like rally games, I think this WRC game here is one of the better rally games you can play or buy now.
Into crest.
Yeah, they fixed a lot of issues this game had with in terms of performance, and I think now it feels great, plays great. I don't have any issues with this game whatsoever. Yeah, but this is a pretty tough game, I gotta say that. So it's definitely not like an arcade racing game, so it can also be, I guess, a little bit frustrating if you don't know, if you're new to this game, but yeah. I like it. I think it's fantastic. Tough game, but that's how I want the rally game to be. So let's see, does the Helldivers 2 run? And I'm gonna also play the Helldivers 2 with the PlayStation 5 controller. Obviously, this game plays great with mouse and keyboard, but now that I'm doing this recording, I mean, using this damn thing.
No thanks, bro.
Let's see how 970 does here on Helldivers 2. Everything at lowest settings, 1080p, render scale at balance. So yeah, in the lobby we were actually like 60 frames per second with low settings and 1080p. Alright guys, so once again, here are the settings. Display, you can see we are running 1080p with render scale set to balanced. And on the graphics, pretty much everything is at low preset. Other than actually we have depth of field on, but let's just leave it on. And here we are in the mission. As you can see, we're actually getting pretty good frame rates here. So, but guys, take a look at this: 74 frames per second here, over 70 frames per second here. This seems to be so far a pretty good seems to be a pretty good experience on the 970 with low settings. And of course, yeah, of course, it doesn't look great here. I mean, you get a lot of shimmering further away, but I mean, still, I think it's pretty good for a 10-year-old GPU here. Look at that. Leave me alone. Yeah, it runs really well here. Oh man, I need to use the machine gun. Yeah, this game is actually pretty tough. Because, I mean, this mission was easy, but if you play alone, I guess this can be actually a pretty tough game. Let's collect some samples here. Usually, yeah, if you collect these, I believe you can upgrade your ship or something like that. But honestly, guys, this game seems to be a nice experience on the 970. Despite the lower graphics settings, I think you can still have fun here. I don't know, I think later on in the game there can be like so many enemies on screen and stuff like that. I don't know how the 970 is going to handle that, but I may do actually a separate video on the Helldivers on the 970 to see some of the more demanding areas that I cannot access right now. So stay tuned for that, I guess. Oh shoot, I'm gonna actually get... They're gonna whoop my ass. Let's take the machine gun out. Yeah, this gun seems to be pretty damn effective against this. Come on, we need to actually call in the extraction point fast before I die. So 2 minutes. Oh crap. Don't die, don't die. I can't move while I reload. No, 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 I don't want to die. Oh shoot. I'm actually in trouble here. Die! Oh. So yeah, this is actually a fun experience on the 970 also. And I think we didn't drop below 60 frames per second at any point. Am I right? Alright guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you really liked it. And I'm gonna do more GPUs here on this channel. The older GPUs mainly. And what can I say? I'll see you next time. Bye. Now, is this a good GPU to pick up still in 2024? Well, I guess it all comes down to if you are okay with the power draw, which obviously is quite high for the performance it gives, and also the VRAM can be issue in modern games, but and these go for like $20 to $30, so maybe it is. I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys? Do you think this is still worth picking up? And what are your thoughts on the GTX 970 in general? My name is Kim, and I thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time.